It's Kingslayer time again, ladies and gentlemen, and today I'm bringing the Forward 4 guide to all of you guys. That has been requested a lot to me, and I really took my time with putting out one. First up, because I was really late on learning that technique, because it got nerfed, the pushback got enhanced at the start of Season 3, which made the combo harder. And I really was like, I never really tried to learn it. I was more like learning by doing it, and I was able to learn it, but not really understanding everything. And that was then pretty much almost the end at Season 3. I started to learn that technique, knowing what I'm doing, knowing what the game tells me. And then Season 4 was already announced, and I wanted to wait with the guide because maybe they would have changed something, but they didn't. So now bringing out a guide makes more sense to me, and now I have a bit more detail and information about it. And it's going to be very hard to explain, but I'll try to deliver a good job here and bringing a good Forward 4 guide to all of you guys, so that you guys can understand why this is so difficult, and maybe it helps you to even land it for yourself a bit more often. So, as we know, the Forward 4 got nerfed. It has enhanced pushback, which looks shit as hell. I don't know, man. I don't like the pushback, but that's just aside. This has the purpose to make a combo pickup much more harder. But even if we don't go for a combo, we still get somewhat of damage. So we still have guaranteed follow-ups here. We can do a guaranteed down 4, down 2, or 4-3. These are your follow-ups in case you don't gonna go for a combo, but of course we want to go for a combo, so we're gonna focus on what makes this combo so difficult and what you have to pay attention to. One thing you gotta know when you want to attempt this combo is that this technique consists out of two parts. It's the dash out as soon as Jin recovers from his Forward 4, and the while standing 4 pickup. So this is one of the reasons why this technique has so much variations to it, and it's so hard to explain because range is a huge factor. You don't have to be frame perfect on your dash out on the Forward 4. You don't have to be frame perfect for that, but you have to be mad quick on that. And then you also have to, like, judging by the range and then the distance you can cover with the dash, then you adjust your while standing 4, and your while standing 4 comes out of a wave dash motion. And as we all know, you have your own variations to how long you will pull out the wave dash. You can do it to the maximum extension and really draw it into the length here, and then follow up with while standing 4, or you do it instantly. You do the wave dash motion and cancel into instant while standing 4. Depending on the range, you have to adjust those two factors. Those two factors are the key to this technique. When you dash out, at best case scenario, as soon as he recovered from the Forward 4, and then you adjust how much of the wave dash motion or space you can cover with the wave dash you actually need to then activate the while standing 4 so it will pick up. This is the reason why this technique is so difficult, so hard to explain, because sure, when we're talking about practice mode and you have the standard reset range, then you have, of course, a norm, so to speak, from which we can talk now. But in a match, you move in, you have angles, you have not always the same range. That's why I don't want to refer to the frame data range here, because you don't have that in the match, so the distance to your opponent here, so I don't want to refer too much to that. So you gotta see, it's like you need to see that when you're supposed to just get a guaranteed follow-up, and when you can go for the combo. And this is something that comes down to you. That's why this guide requires you to be somewhat experienced with Jin and his hitboxes. So it's not like, you know, you're gonna just pick up Jin, look that guide up, and then all of a sudden you start nailing that. If so, that's super good, but this is not the purpose of it. It's more for those people that play Jin already since a while, but struggling with this combo in particular. So it's not just that there's so many variations to it, it's also very hard to, like, I always made myself, like, a hard time thinking on how many variations I want to cover, which basics I can cover from this technique, because like I said, I can talk like 50 minutes from this range now. If I'm here, it's a completely different technique. It's no joke. It really is there's so much diversity in it, and so much that you have to know when to apply and how to apply, and when you should go for a follow-up and when not. And it's yeah, that was one of the reasons why it took me so long to make a guide like that, because there's so many factors that come into play. But now that we know that the technique of the combo pickup consists out of the dash out from the forward 4 and the while standing 4, we then gonna try to apply that, and for that I'm gonna, for you guys, make sure that I have a recovery animation here, so that you can see what's actually popping with the character. So here I dashed, but apparently I dashed too early, and I did a triple forward, so turn on the command history so you guys know what I'm talking about. As you can see there, I did triple forwards, but I assume the first forward didn't even get registered. Then the neutral frame come in, and that's where I recovered, and then I pressed forward and he didn't dash forward. So as you can see here, it gets quite technical when it comes to like dashing out and then adjusting the rest of the range with your while standing 4, because you don't have to be frame perfect on the dash out, and you don't have to be frame perfect on the while standing 4 pickup. It's just that when we hit that, there, as you can see there, I probably took too much length off the wave dash. I should have probably activated the while standing 4 earlier. The technique consists out of 80% the dash out is important and 20% the while standing 4. Because the ground principle here is the better you dash out, the more easier the rest of the combo gets. Alright, since we now know what this technique consists of, let's discuss the fact what can go wrong on this technique. So what can go wrong are 3 different things, and the good thing is they all have the same solution. I tried to display the things that can go wrong now. That can happen. Your while standing 4 whiffs. Reason for this is, of course, most likely your dash out was not I almost want to say perfectly timed, but it was not timed properly so that you get that Jin starts dashing out of the forward 4 immediately. So once you end up here and the while standing 4 will whiff, maybe you activated the while standing 4 too early, so you didn't put like a good amount of length from the wave dash motion. You didn't put enough length from that into your technique, or your dash out was not good. The next thing that can happen is that the back to 1 starts whiffing after the while standing 4 connects. Oh, finally, okay, there we go. So when this happens and your back to 1 drops like that, then it means that you still did a good dash out and you activated the while standing 4 properly. But the thing is that the while standing 4 connected close enough to give you the pickup, but not close enough to give you the back to 1. So this is, that's also one issue on this technique, is that you don't have to think once you hit the while standing 4 you get the rest of the combo. This can really get misleading, and that's how I learned the technique, because I just focused on landing the while standing 4 and then getting the rest of the combo or not. So I let the game pretty much decide if I get the rest of the combo or not. If your dash out is super precise, this will of course not happen. And like I said, it's very hard to explain that, what it actually means to like dash out, because you have you don't have to be frame perfect. That's the issue about that. It would be easier to explain if you had to be frame perfect, but you have some room and some space there to, like I said, because it consists out of two parts, the dash out and the wassening forward. So you want to adjust both parts as good as you possibly can. And when the wassening 4 connects like that, you just have enough range in the wassening 4, but not enough range to make sure that the back to 1 connects. This can also happen. This is of course one thing that can go wrong as well, and like I said, we're gonna go through all three things because they all have the same solution to it. The next thing that can go wrong is that your wassening 4 connects, your back to 1 also connects, but then the 1 to 4 string with which you want to screw starts whiffing. So we're gonna try to take a look at how that's gonna look like. There we go, that was already easier. Okay, good shit. What happens here is pretty much the exact same issue. Yeah, it's really the exact same issue. Your dash was good, your wassening 4 was good, and your wassening 4 gave you the pickup for the combo. Then, the first barrier, you overcame it. The back to 1 starts connecting. The reason why the string starts whiffing is the exact same reason why the back to 1 starts whiffing. Because your wassening 4 at the very start of the combo was close enough to give you the combo pickup and the back to 1, but not close enough to make sure that the string will work. So, the good thing is that these are the three things that can go wrong on this technique. If you want to fix all of those three things except the wassening 4 that whiffs at the beginning, that's something that comes down to the two factors of which this technique consists of. So meaning, when you drop the wassening 4, you want to work on the dash out and the wassening 4 hitbox. That's what you want to work on. If you start dropping and dropping and dropping the wassening 4 from the get-go, if you start getting the wassening 4, but you start dropping the rest of it, then you want to adjust, of course, that you land it better. But since all of those three things, like I said, except for the wassening 4 that whiffs in front of the opponent, they all can get fixed. And with this solution, you can make sure every time you hit the wassening 4, you always get a combo. And the solution here is to microdash. That's something I didn't practice when I learned the technique to the extent that I learned it back then. But with a microdash, every single time when your wassening 4 connects and you microdash, you can always get the combo. If you do it like that, no matter how your dash was or your wassening 4 was, as soon as your wassening 4 connects successfully, you can microdash and then you make sure you always get the combo. The thing why I didn't use it is because microdashing after the wassening 4, after you dash up like that, was quite unpractical for me at the start. But even here, when I don't microdash and I still get the back to 1, once you experience enough, you see for yourself when you need a microdash and when not. If you want to make this combo as consistent as you can possibly do it, make sure, regardless what you get, once you hit the wassening 4, always microdash. The thing is, and that's also a great transition into the next topic, the technique gets more trickier and you need more understanding of the technique depending on the range. So range is a great factor on this technique. As you can see, that also works, but this is of course not just even harder, but I think you'll always roll much better if you focus on the back to 1 pickup after a microdash, because even though both moves are the same in terms of frame speed, the back to 1 has a better mid-hit box that reaches much more forward than back 3 does. So even if you microdash, this can still you can still drop the back 3. It just shows you that even this can get that this becomes possible again, because I did it from neutral reset range and I still was able to get it. Damage wise, there's not such a big difference in it, but in terms of consistency that becomes a bigger difference because like I said, even when you micro dash from range here, for example, you won't get it, because even if you micro dash, like I said, the hitbox from back 3 doesn't operate that much forward as back to 1 does, or back 2 in this case. Then this both are mids, but this operates much more forward. So that's why after the micro dash you always get the back to 1 in. And that leads me to the next topic. Different range means different results. Like I just described, I hit the back 3 micro dash pickup on neutral reset range, and the technique gets easier the closer you are to your opponent. Meaning, at the same time, there are 3 levels of difficulties if you want to practice that technique. Difficulty number 2 is what we're doing since the start of this video, from neutral reset range. If you want to make it easier for you, that's the easiest step if you want to start learning that technique. Just dash up to your opponent. Land to counter it, and then drop the string. But this is how you start learning it if you want to. There are these 3 levels of difficulty. That is the easiest. Second is that, and the hardest is neutral reset range and the backdash. This is the hardest range to connect, because right now here for the nerds here in the Tekken scene, hold on, you know the ones when you don't find your things. Shit. Here we're now at range 2.7. Forward 4 max range is at 3.1. This is pretty much the last range where you can combo. Yes, you can still combo from this range, neutral reset range, 1 backdash, but you have to microdash. At this you have to microdash, and that's why I don't like to refer to the screen here with the distance to the opponent this much, because this is something you don't have within the match. So you need to be able to see that with yourself when you're in a fight. When can you go for a combo? When you just go for a follow-up. From this point here, you can still combo, but you need the microdash. If we go here, where the max range from the forward 4 is, which is 3.1, don't try landing a combo from here, because it will not work. Even the guaranteed follow-ups get difficult. 4-3 won't reach because the startup frames are too slow. Down 2 can get risky because the opponent can recover in time. The only thing that operates here from max range is down 4. That's the only thing you can get that operates as a natural combo. You can still get it down 2, but that can get risky sometimes. Like I said, maybe because we're now talking specifically about range 3.1. If you're maybe here, which is not that, it's not a lot, but it's already a world difference in terms of making the moves connect. You know, that's why I don't want to refer to that this much. It's just that once forward 4 hits at max range, and that's something you need to have in your eye, that you just go for a down 4. Or you can risk a down 2, but I would recommend going for a down 4. Don't try to go for a combo, it will not work. And with that, we can take a look at the hardest difficulty here when you want to learn that technique. 1 backdash range, and then you connect that. My ratio in connecting that is 1 out of 30. So, just to give you an idea, I'm not that bad in hitting that technique. But it just tells you how insane difficult it is. If your dash is here, not perfect, you won't get it. And even if it's perfect, you still have to micro dash to get the rest of the combo. And there we go. This was definitely due to editing skills, you guys didn't saw it, but it was already more than 30 attempts. So this, if you land this consistently from that range, you're buzzed. Because this is insanely hard, insanely hard. You almost have to be perfect with everything here. And even if you are perfect on the dash and the 174, that is not enough to make the combo work on its own. You still have to micro dash. So for everyone that wants to get down this technique with the most consistency as possible, you won't get around the micro dash there. And to be honest, with a little bit of practice, because since I started recording that and prior to that, I was focusing a bit more on the micro dash. I already got a bit used to it, but like I said, that's what this guy dedicates more to the people that know Jin and his hitboxes and understanding the character pretty much. His combo potential can rise even higher when you can micro dash out of countless different options. I don't want to put a list up here, but there are so many combo options where Jin gets more deadly when you micro dash, and now forward 4 is one of them. And that was the max range when you do one backdash where it can still connect. One more thing I want to talk about is that stuff like down forward 1-4. Let's say you block punish a move that is minus 13, and you end up with this range. Do note that if you can connect it from the rank reset, the neutral reset range and one backdash, if you connect it from there, you can also connect it after down forward 1-4, because down forward 1-4 leaves it a bit more closer than the one backdash range. Gotta see where I can find my here. So this is the one backdash range. And this is after down forward 1-4. The reason why I say this is it's a common frame trap to take advantage of those plus 10 and the spin state here to then follow up with the combo. And of course, just in case you go for the Savage Sword Ender, just a small information at the side, always use the one jab, because then this will happen most of the time, that the angle gets a bit off track and it will make the wall combo drop. This is also one possibility if you wanted to practice it, but yeah, the hardest is definitely reset range and then one backdash. And this clears up the topic why different range means different result, and that's why we can turn this off again. These are things you have to adjust in the match because there's so much spacing. And the thing is that this counter it here, you can't just do that on reaction anymore. You need to know, okay, I probably get a counter it, so you make yourself ready as soon as you throw that forward 4, and then you gotta judge your range as well, because then you decide, can I still cover that? You do that during the counter hit. So you have to get really familiar with that, and then you decide if you just go for a follow-up here, or you go for a combo. And that's why this technique is so difficult. You have different angles, different range. So if you want to know this, this is the thing, when you already know that this is something the technique requires you to know that you land a counter, then the range is a factor. You can try to move in a certain specific range at your opponent and then maybe sidestep into something like that when you're up close to make sure you prepare yourself for the combo and then do it. Of course, like I said, the most consistent way is implementing the micro dash there, if you could do it. Implementing the micro dash to make sure that you don't waste the launch and the dash that you already put in, that you make sure that you really utilize that. One last piece of advice I would like to give you guys is that I have not talked about the fact that there is a scenario where your whole 1 to 4 string can connect. It's not bad if it happens, but you always want to whiff the 2 jab because it offers you a much more controlled wall carry. The reason why the full string connects is simply because the while standing 4 connected so deep at the start of the combo that it just simply enables the rest of the string. That's all. And yeah, I think this would be pretty much everything, to be honest. The two ground principles of this technique are, of course, that the better the dash out, the higher the chances of landing the rest of the combo, with micro dash or not. Second is that a micro dash becomes your savior because he can make sure that once the Wasan F4 connects, the rest of the combo will always become reality. that was a Jin quote, but shit. That the rest of the combo was always that you get it once you use the micro dash. Because once the micro dash connects after the Wasan F4 and then the back to 1 does, there's no way the combo drops anymore. And yeah. I think that would wrap up everything, because from that what I told you guys right now, the details and everything, you can probably understand why it's so difficult to apply that technique in a match, and why it's also so difficult to explain it, because you have pretty much all the factors that are important in this combo. They have so much variations to it: the range, the dash, the Wasan F4 hitbox. When you're gonna connect it, can you see if you connected? You know, those are all these things. Once you start operating with this combo, you gotta learn them. You know, it's not just enough to execute the combo, but also to know when you can actually land it, and when it's maybe a better choice to, you know, just go for a guaranteed follow-up. But that would wrap up every information I could give you guys. I hope this was a successful guide, because I have no idea. Like I said, I struggled with a proper script because of these various reasons. It's very hard to explain, and I hope I did a good job on that. And maybe you guys are able to land that now a bit more consistently. I'm definitely sure you guys understand a bit more about that technique now. And when it comes to landing it, there is no magic trick to it. It's really literally just practice. And yeah. With that being said, thanks so much for watching that guide, and make sure you guys gonna stay healthy so we can see us the next time again.